Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and in today's video we are going to be looking at a very powerful tool called Google Forms, and we are going to be learning how to create a Google form and how we can embed that form on our website. And I'm going to be creating a separate video whereby we can see how we can map out that Google Forms into our various CRM such as Zoho CRM and HubSpot. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is to sign into your Google account, or you want to go into Google Forms directly, whichever way you want to. And let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is to go into your Google account, and I am already signed in. In case you're not signed in, all you need to do is just sign in into your Google account, and you can go over to this menu, this Google Apps menu. Then you can look for form. Yeah, so this is form, and you can just click on it, and you are going to get into uh, the form part of your Google account. Another method to use is to type in forms .google.com, and you are going to go directly into your Google Forms account. Okay, so that's how to get into Google Forms. And the next thing you want to do is to create a blank form. So I'm going to be starting from scratch, and I'm going to be creating a blank form. And also you can actually use any of their templates which they have in here. You can go into the template gallery and pick whichever one you want. For the purpose of this tutorial, I am going to be starting from scratch. I am going to click on a blank form. Yeah, to simplify everything, I have actually created a template for my forms. As a CRM and email marketing expert, I want to be able to ask my clients some questions like for an onboarding form, and I want them to be able to fill in this form, whether it's on my website or my email campaign, wherever this form is. When we get into this part of Zoho Forms, it gets this name. Okay, so now I want to type in another name for this form. I want to name it onboarding form. Okay, so I want to name this form onboarding form, and I click on enter, and that's it. And also I want to create my first question, and my first question is going to be the first name. And before we go into the first before we go into creating questions, let me explain what each of this field um each of those field name is. Okay, so there are different types of fields in Google Forms. So we have the short answer, we have the paragraph, we have the multiple choice, we have the checkbox, and we have the drop down, the file upload, the line, linear scale, the multiple choice grid, and the checkbox grid, and the date and time. Okay, so let me pick this field one after the other and explain how they work. Okay, so right now I want to explain each of those fields one after the other so that we can have a very good understanding of how each of those fields work. And the first field we saw in here was in Google Forms is short answer. So short answer is just for like brief responses, and it's just for asking in the name, the email, and it's just for like short piece of information, and that's all. And you can customize it to accept text, numbers, and email format. And the next one, which is paragraph text, the paragraph text is just like the short answer, but it it has a more character limits than short answer. So in case you want to ask them about their goals, you want to ask them about their processes, they are going to be going in for a longer response, and that is going to uh, paragraph will actually have to be the best option for that instead of using short answer. So that's the difference between short answer and paragraph field. Paragraph is a bit longer than short answer. So for multiple choice is whereby you provide different options where they can pick in just one answer. So it is ideal for um, you asking a question and you allowing the respondents to pick only just one answer, and you can include the other option whereby they can be able to pick in another one, whereby they can be able to pick in or writing another option which is not in the option you have provided. And the next one is the checkbox. Now, the checkbox is different from the multiple choice because the checkbox allows the respondent to pick multiple answers. Now, multiple choice allows them to pick only one answer, while checkbox allows them to pick multiple answer. And also, you can have the other option in checkbox. That means you can allow them to put in whichever option is not in the option you have provided. Okay, I hope I'm not confusing you. So what I mean is that you can add in an order option whereby they can be able to type in the type of the option that they are opting in for, even if that option is not in the list of options you have provided. Okay, so the next one is the drop down menu. Now, the drop down menu is just like, or should I say, it's similar to multiple choice, but it's the only difference with drop down is that it drops down. Yeah, as the name implies. So it is used to like save a lot of space, and you can actually have that drop down pick only one answer. So that means it's like multiple choice, you can only pick one answer, and it is suitable for asking questions about maybe specific industry or their email marketing software. And in the drop down menu you can also have the other option. Yeah, so for linear scale is just it allows you create a question whereby your respondent can rate that particular question. So it can be from 1 to 5 or from 1 to 10. So it's for rating satisfaction, for likelihood of them being able to employ or get a CRM expert, or how do they rate our services in the past few months. So it's just like on a scale of 1 to 5, maybe it's or 0 to 5, 0 being very bad and 5 being very good. Okay, so for multiple choice grade, so multiple choice grade, it allows the respondents to pick only one answer per role. So the likelihood of them employing a CRM expert, a email marketing expert, and a data analysis expert. So you can have in different checkbox for that, and they can be able to pick only one answer on each role. I am going to go into the forms and I'm going to explain this better. Because grid is just like the multiple choice grid, and what's the only difference is that the respondents can be able to pick multiple answers on the row. So on multiple choice grid, they can only pick only one answer, while in checkbox grid they can pick multiple answers on the same row. Okay, so for dates, it's just allow the respondent to be able to pick a date from the calendar. So let's imagine that I want to ask them, when would you like us to have our first meeting? Then they can be able to pick in the date which is suitable for them from the calendar, and the time. So if you want to ask them to pick a specific time or duration, whereby they can be able to pick the particular time that works best for them, the most convenient time for them to meet, then that is where the time field comes in. And also for the file upload, we can allow our respondents to upload a file directly to our Google Drive. So let's imagine that we want to ask them about any marketing materials or any marketing campaigns they've been using in the past few months. Then we can ask them to upload their file. So it can be in form of PNG, PDF, whichever other files you want to use. Okay, so that's it about each field in Google Forms. So now let's go ahead and create a Google Forms and see how it works. Okay, so right now I am in my form builder for Google Forms, and what I want to do right now is I want to use this template to create this form. So now the title of my form will be onboarding form like it is, and I want to add in a description, and I have the description here already. So I'm just going to be copying this, and I'm going to be pasting it into my builder, and I want to delete this. Yep. Okay, so the first question is going to be the first name. I want to separate the first name and the last name. That is because if I want to map it out to my CRM, I am going to the first name and the last name is going to be different. It's going to be different fields. So I'm going to name this first, first name. Yeah, so the first name, and it is going to be a short answer. Then I can make this required, and also I can add in a description for this first name. I can impute maybe whatever description I want to write about the first name, and also I can add in an image about this first name or about this field. So I don't need an image, so I'm going to cancel that. And also I can import questions, and I can add in a title, a description. I can add in an image, a video, and also I can add in a different section. So I don't need any of this for now. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to make this required, and I can add in a response validation. So a response validation whereby I can add in this short answer being number or text, or I can make the length, the character length to which ever number I want. Yeah, and I can also define this that if it is containing a particular expression, then an error code should come in. I do not need the response validation for this, and I do not need the description. So what I want to do next, yeah, I want to duplicate this. So the next one is going to be the last name, and it is also going to be short answer. So I am going to leave it the way it is, and I am only going to be changing the name of this field. And also the next one is that the email address, and want to add in another question, and we want to name this email address, and I don't want it to be bold. Yeah, so I want to name this email address, and it's also going to be short answer. But what I want to do is I want to require a validation for this, a response validation. So what I want to do is email, so the text contains, and it is going to be text, then email. Then if it is not an email, then we want to put in a error text. So the error text will be please. So what this does is that if they put in a text that is not an email address, it is going to bring out this error code, and it is going to ask them to put in their email, the correct email. Okay, so then I want to make this required, and also I want to add in another question. Okay, so the next question is going to be the phone number. So for the phone number is also a short answer, and I want to copy and paste it. Okay, so I want to make this a short answer. And what I want to do is I want to add in a response validation for this, and it is going to be number. And if it is greater than, okay, some countries the phone number is 15 and some is 11, while some is I think 13. But due to the variation in phone number, I am not going to be adding this response validation. So what I want to do is I want to remove this response validation and allow people fill in their phone number the way it is. Okay, so I am going to be making this required, and I want to add in the next question. And the next question in here is the company name, and the company name is also a short answer. Then I want to make it required, or then I want to make it required. Then I'll be adding in another question, and the next one is the industry. Now, before we add in the industry, I want to add in a question, and I want to go back here, and I want to duplicate this. And what I want to do is I want to change this to company URL. So I want them to be able to put in their company the link to their website, and or I can just change this to website URL. Then it is a short answer also, but what I want to do is I want to add in a response validation, and the response validation will be text, then it is going to be a URL. So if it is not a URL, then an error code should come in, or an error text should come in, and it should say, please, yeah. So the website link is going to have a .com, and that's it. So for the next one, which is the industry, now this is where the change is going to start from. So for the industry, we want them to pick only just one industry, and we are going to be using the multiple choice. And remember, in the last slide I explained, I said if it is multiple choice, they are only going to pick in one option. So that's best fit for the industry type. So I want to pick in industry, and also, so I want to copy it and paste it in here. So, and I want to leave it as multiple choice. And what I want to do, okay, sorry, my question is industry. Okay, so I want to add in the options and I want to copy all this, then I want to paste it in here. Yeah. So what I want to do is I want to add in the other option just in case the option or just in case their industry is not part of this, then they can insert or they can type in um the option which they want, add order, then they can type in whichever option that they are currently the industry they are in, even if this is not in the ones we've mentioned. So the next question is the service required? So now it's possible that they want one or more services. We cannot use multiple choice for that. We have to use a check. We have to use the checkbox field because for the service required, it's possible they want more than one services. So I want to pick on the service required. And what I want to do is I want to go back to my onboarding form and I want to create a new question and I want to copy this in here. Yeah, for the service required. And I want to onboard this. And also I want to copy in the services I offer. Then I want to paste that in here and as you can see it automatically filled it in, and I want to add in the order option just in case they want another service that is not part of what I have listed here, then they can type in whichever one they want themselves. Okay, the next field is current email marketing platform, and I want to do something. I want to create another section and I want to name that section. Okay, so now I created another section and I want to name this section advanced question. So you can name it whichever name you want to, but I just want to do this for the sake of this tutorial. So advanced question, and what I want to do is I can add in a description, but I don't want to, and also I can add in another question under this section. So now this section will be for any question that has to do with their email marketing software, their CRM software, and so on. So the next question in here after the service required is their current email marketing platform, and I want to go back to my form and paste the same. And okay, so it is going to be a multiple choice, and that is because we want them to be able to pick only one option, and we are going to be adding in the order so that they can add in whichever email marketing platform they are using that is not listed. So I want to copy this, but not all so much. So just this is enough. Then I want to paste it in here and I want to add the order option so they can fill in or they can write in whichever option is not listed. Then I want to go back into my template and I want to pick in the next question, which is the current um, CRM system. So the current CRM system they are using, we are going to be adding in another question and we are going to be pasting it in here and we're going to onboard this. Then we are going to be adding in all the CRM softwares we have. Okay. Then I am going to be pasting it in the option menu. Okay, so I'm having Salesforce twice, so I'm going to remove that. Okay, so now I want to add in the order also for this, and that is because I want them to be able to insert whichever CRM software they are using that is not in here, because we don't have some CRM software here like Keep, so we can ask them to put in whichever one they are using that is currently not on this list. Now, there's something I want to chip in here. We are supposed to be using a drop down menu for this, and that is because so we can actually be able to save space on this form and not make the form too long. But you are going to be discovering that in drop down menu you can only add another option. There is not the option of add order. So we cannot add in that option of add order because we are using a drop down menu a drop down field. It is only available in the multiple choice and also in the checkbox option. So I cannot use the drop down because I need them to be able to type in whichever CRM software they are using that is not on this list. I hope that is clear. So I'm going to cancel this and I am going to go back and change this to multiple choice because I want them to pick just one. Okay, so that is for that. I want to add in another question, and that question is going to be a paragraph question, and the name of it, the name of that field is future goals. We want to be asking about their future goals, what they want to achieve by employing us as their email marketing experts and their CRM experts. So we want to make this a paragraph. I can make this required if I want, and I can add in a response validation whereby they can be able to insert the maximum length or the minimum length. And I don't need the response validation for this, so I am going to be moving on. Okay, so my next question is the budget range, and the budget range is going to be a drop down. That is because we want to be able to pick one, then we don't need to add in the order field or the order option. So I'm going to be using budget range and it is going to remain as the multiple choice, and I'm going to be copying all of those options. I'm going to be pasting it in my builder. The budget range, they can pick whichever one they want, whether it is less than 1,000 or it is less than or if it is $1,000 to $5,000. So they can pick in whichever budget rate they want. And I want to click on drop down because we just want them to pick one and there is no need for the order option. I'm going to use drop down and just to save a little bit of space on the form. Then my next question is the satisfaction with our current services. And also, this question is not supposed to be here because I actually it's an onboarding form, but just for the sake of tutorial, that's why I'm adding this in here. So the satisfaction with the current services, we want to be able to have this question, and it's going to be on a rating scale. So we want to create a scale whereby they can be able to rate us, rate our their satisfaction with our services. So I'll create a new question, and the name of the question is satisfaction with our current services. Then I want to onboard it, and what I want to do is I want to use the linear scale. So the linear scale is going to be from yeah, so we are going to be labeling from 0 to 5 or from 1 to 5. So I'm going to be using 1 and the label for 1 and the label for 5, although it is optional, but I actually want to add this in. So I want the if they're picking 1, that means they're saying it is very bad. And if they're picking 5, that means it is very good. On a scale of 1 to 5, we want them to be able to rate us the satisfaction with the current service. So that is for that. Then for the next one, which is a multiple choice grid. So what I want to do is I want to create the service interest and priority. So we want to be able to ask them which services they feel is a priority to them. So now for the multiple choice grid, they can actually only pick one option, and I'll be showing that to you right now. So if I click on add, and the question, and I had in the question, and I want to be able to onboard this, and I want to pick the multiple choice grid. And what I want to do is I want to add in these options, which is email marketing strategy. For the role, I want to add in the questions, and for the columns, I want to add in the ratings. So for email marketing strategy, I want to add in this in the first row. Then for CRM setup and management, I want to add in this in the second one, the second row. And for the next one, which is automation and workflows, I want to add that in also. Then the last one, which is analytics and reporting, I want to add that in. So the first column, which is the rating, I want to add in very interested. So the last one is not interested, and that is for the multiple grade. So that means for email marketing, they can pick whether they are very interested or not interested, and that is for that. So for the next question, which is future needs assessment, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to copy this question and I am going to leave it the way it is, but I am going to change this to checkbox grade. And the difference between the checkbox grade and the multiple choice grade, I have actually explained it in the last slide. The difference is just that they can be able to pick in more than one options. So that means they can pick whether they are interested or very interested or interested. I mean, and interested and not interested. So that's the difference between this and checkbox grade. So the next question is the preferred start date. So we want to be able to ask them the date that they would like to start working with us or the day they would like to start this project. And I am going to be adding in a new question and I am going to be pasting this and I am going to be onboarding this. And I can yeah, it's already picking in the date field. Then they can pick from the calendar and we can make this required if we want. Then the last question, which is the missing duration, we want to be able to ask them to pick a particular time that um, is best suitable for them. So let's ask this question: what is the best time to meet? So I am going to be adding this new question. I am going to be pasting this, and we are asking them what is the best time for them to meet, and we are going to begin the time. So the last option, which is the file upload, we want to ask them to add in any file or any PNG file or anything that is going to help us um, that is going to help us create, a better service for them. So we want to input this question and we want them to upload any sample file and we want to allow only specific type of file. So we want to ask for document, spreadsheet, PDF and video. Yeah, if you don't want to ask for a specific type, you can just um, click on this and you can allow all files. Then you can allow for more than one files. You can add maybe one or five or 10. So the maximum file they can add in is five and we want them to be able to upload the maximum of 10 MB. We are going to be syncing this file into our Google Drive. Then we can make this required. Then we can add in a description in the description part. Okay, so that is it. Um, we've added all our fields and our questions. We've been able to cover every of the field that is available in Google Forms. What we want to do now is I want to show you how you can add in your video or you can add in an image. So if you come, okay, so I want to explain how you can use this menu option. So the first one is to add a question and the next one is to import a question from another form. So let's imagine that you have a particular form you've created already and what you want to do is you want to import questions from that particular form instead of starting from scratch and creating them one by one again. You can just click on this import question and you can click on any particular forms you want to use and the question is going to be created in that field. So you can just click on insert, then the question will be inserted. So the next thing to do is you can add in the title and the form description and we have that in here already, so I am going to be deleting this. We have the form title and the form description already, so we can add in an image. You can add in an image from your computer, then by URL, your Google Drive or your Google Images. So I'm going to be adding it from my computer and I'm just going to be in a random image. So I am going to be clicking on this. So I am going to click on open and what I want to do is yeah, this image is going to sync in and add in an image title if we want. I am going to be adding okay. just for this tutorial, I'm going to be adding video. So the next thing you can add is you can add a video. Let's imagine that you want to be able to add a video to explain your services and the people you've been able to help in the past. So all you need to do is click on add video. Then you want to paste in your YouTube video, the YouTube link. So I am going to be pasting this, and I'm going to click on enter, and I am going to be selecting this, and I'm going to click on insert. So now um it is inserting this video in the form. Then you can rename this. We are naming this video explainer video, and you can also add in a section if you want. And that is all for the builder. The next thing you want to do is to go into the responses. Okay, so for every response that is coming into this form, it is going to be linked to Google Sheets. So you can create a new spreadsheet whereby it's any form. This new responses are going to be entering into this new sheet, and the sheet will be called onboarding form in my Google Sheets. Or you can select an existing spreadsheet if you want. So I want to click on create. I want to use the new one, and we are waiting for responses. Okay, so now this is my Google Sheet, and anytime a response is coming in, it is going to be entering this. Then we can use these responses and we can insert it in whichever CRM or whichever email marketing software we are using. So I want to go back to my onboarding form, and I want to click on the settings. Now we can make this a quiz whereby we can provide points and set answer for each of the questions. I'm going to be explaining in another video how you can do that. And also you can decide to collect emails. Then you can also select if the responders are going to be getting a copy of their emails. But for you to be able to do this, you have to collect email addresses. That means you have to collect verified email addresses. Then you can also that will enable this to maybe turn on or to turn off. So we want to make this always. That means anytime a responder is a responder submits a form, then they always get their responses, um, a copy of their responses in their email. And another thing you want to do is you want to enable editing after the response has been submitted. Then you might want to enable this limit to one response. So what this means is that we only allow just one response for each form. That means you cannot put in they cannot fill in that form twice. Okay, so that means they cannot submit another response. What Google is going to do is that it's going to get in their former responses and auto fill it in that form. Then they can be able to update that field and resend it. And we are limiting to one response because we don't want to duplicate contacts in our database. And also responses will not be allowed after we've gotten to a particular data space, and maybe 10 gig or 1 gig. So I'm picking 1 gig. That means if my file has reached a maximum space of 1 gig, I am not going to be receiving any responses. And we want to manage how these responses and we want to manage how these responses are presented. You can show your progress bar, and you can shuffle question order. I don't want to shuffle the question order. I want to leave it the way it is. Then you can edit your confirmation image message. You can edit your confirmation image. So you can add in thank you. So that will be the confirmation image, and you want to save this. So show link to submit another response. This has been disabled because we are only limiting to one response. So we can only enable this if we are not limiting to only one response. That means we can show the link to the responder to add in another response. But since we're only limiting to one, just not to have duplicate contact in our database. And also you can disable autosave for all respondents. I don't want to disable it. I want to actually make sure that there is autosave so that they can come back to the field and they can see their responses they've submitted before. And also for form default, Yeah, for form default, we want to collect email addresses by default. I want to collect verified email addresses, and this will make sure that the respondents are signed in before they can be able to fill in the form, because we want to make sure we are collecting verified email addresses of the respondents and not just responses that are not verified or emails that are not verified. Okay, so make questions required by default. Okay, so you can make all questions required by default, but I don't want to do that because um, I don't need answers to all of the questions. I just need answers to few. So I am not going to make everything required. So that is about the settings. Then the next thing you want to do is you can change the theme. You can add in the header style. You can change the header style um, to whichever font you want and to whichever font size. And also the question, you can change the font and the font size also. So for the header, you can choose in an image to have in the header option, and also you can add in another color, and instead of purple, let me pick blue. Yep. So for the background, yeah, we can make it white or we can add in another color. So I am going to be picking something soft. Yeah, this should do. So that is for the theme. Then the next option is to preview this form, and when we are previewing this form we can be able to see everything we have created. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go back and I want to, you can undo and redo, then you can send. Now in this option you can send this email, I mean you can send this form as an email, and you can send it to different email addresses that you want to send this email to, and you can also send it as a link. This is the long form link, and you can also shorten this link, whereby you can insert this link um in your campaigns and in your newsletters, and even also in individual one-on-one emails to your clients or to your leads. And you can also embed this as an HTML on your website. And I am going to be, yeah, it's saying this form cannot be embedded because we are having a file upload. So in my next video, I am going to be explaining how you can embed a form on your website, and how you can be able to how respondents can be able to come in into that form and fill in the form, and also map that form into um, your CRM software. So that is all. I hope I've been able to pass in a lot of value. And please, if you like this tutorial, please do like and share and subscribe to my channel, and so you can be able to receive more of this. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.